how are you embracing this new celeb status?
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know if I want to be a celebrity, but I've been I don't know. I don't scroll, like, I don't have Twitter. I don't have, like, all that stuff. I don't keep up with, like, celebrity news like that. So I feel super chill. I was at home for 5 days doing nothing. So I felt very normal. So I didn't feel like a celebrity.
Something extraordinary just happened in American figure skating. Something that hasn't been seen in more than 2 decades. And the athlete at the center of it all is suddenly standing at the crossroads between Olympic history and Hollywood fame. Alisa Lou didn't just win at the 2026 Winter Olympics in Milano Cortina, she completely changed the conversation around American women's figure skating overnight, capturing double Olympic gold, gaining millions of new followers in a matter of days, and attracting attention from some of the biggest names in entertainment. But the real twist in this story isn't just the medals she won. It's what she's choosing to do with the massive spotlight that suddenly landed on her shoulders, and surprisingly, she might not want any of it. To understand why this moment is so big, you have to look at the history behind it. Figure skating in the United States has always had a complicated relationship with Olympic glory. For decades, the sport produced global icons like Michelle Kwan, Kristi Yamaguchi, and Dorothy Hamill, athletes who became household names far beyond the ice rink. Yet despite the sport's popularity, American women hadn't stood on top of the Olympic podium in the singles event for more than 2 decades. The last time it happened was back in 2002, when a 16-year-old Sarah Hughes shocked the world at the Winter Olympics in Salt Lake City. She entered the competition as an underdog and delivered one of the most unexpected performances in Olympic history, walking away with the gold medal. After that moment, American women in figure skating kept getting close. They kept producing incredible athletes, building hype, and drawing huge audiences. But the very top of the podium always seemed just out of reach. Then came Alisa Lou, and she didn't just break the drought, she shattered it. At only 20 years old, she captured gold in the women's singles event and gold again in the team competition, achieving something an entire generation of American figure skaters had been chasing for 24 years. Milano Cortina 2026 instantly became her moment, and the world watched it unfold in real time. But winning Olympic gold is only the beginning of a completely different story. The moment the scores appeared, confirming Lou's victory, everything around her started moving at lightning speed. Media requests poured in, magazine covers were offered, major brands wanted partnerships, and her social media exploded almost overnight. Within days, she gained around 7 million new followers on Instagram. Millions of people who had never heard her name just weeks earlier, suddenly wanting to follow every step of what came next. That kind of growth is something public relations teams spend years trying to engineer. Alisa Lou achieved it simply by being extraordinary at what she does on the ice. And once the sports world noticed, the entertainment world quickly followed. Around the same time Lou was doing her post-Olympic press run, Paris Fashion Week was underway, placing her in the middle of a completely different celebrity universe. During that whirlwind, she crossed paths with Zendaya, one of the most influential entertainers on the planet right now. Between her blockbuster films, fashion dominance, and massive cultural presence, Zendaya represents the kind of star power that defines global pop culture. Seeing the two of them in the same space felt like one of those moments the internet instantly grabs onto, screenshots, and analyzes for weeks. And that wasn't the only surprising crossover. Liu also made her way to Broadway, where she attended a performance of Oh Mary and met Simu Liu backstage. Then, during an appearance on The Today Show, she ran into Daniel Radcliffe, the actor known worldwide for his role as Harry Potter. In just a matter of days, Alisa Lou moved through a social circle that many people spend an entire career trying to enter. Yet the most fascinating part of all of this is how completely unfazed she seems by it. Most athletes in her position would be leaning all the way into the spotlight. They would be saying yes to every appearance, scheduling every possible interview, locking down brand deals, and building a personal brand while the momentum is still red hot. That's the traditional playbook. You win big, you capitalize immediately, and you ride the wave for as long as it lasts. But Alisa Lou doesn't seem interested in playing that game at all. When Access Hollywood asked her how she was handling the sudden fame, the millions of new followers, and the non-stop attention, she didn't deliver the usual carefully crafted public relations response. Instead of giving a polished answer about gratitude and excitement for future opportunities, she said something refreshingly honest. She simply said she doesn't know if she even wants to be a celebrity. Just like that. No spin, no hesitation, no attempt to soften the statement. For a 20-year-old standing in the biggest moment of her life, that level of self-awareness is incredibly rare. Most people experience that kind of attention and instantly become addicted to it. The validation, the access, the sense that everyone suddenly wants you in their world, can be powerful. Yet Lou seems completely comfortable questioning whether she wants that lifestyle at all. Then the topic of Dancing with the Stars came up. For many Olympic athletes, this show has practically become the next step after the games. The pattern is familiar. You win a medal, appear on morning shows, maybe release a book or announce partnerships, and then join the cast of Dancing with the Stars to introduce yourself to an entirely new audience. So when a reporter asked Liu if she would consider it, many people expected the usual polite response that keeps options open. Something like maybe or we'll see. Instead, her answer was simple and direct. She said no, she doesn't think so. It wasn't rude or dismissive, just calm and honest. No hesitation, no careful phrasing to leave the door open. Just a clear answer that she wasn't interested. And honestly, that moment revealed a lot about who Alisa Lou might really be. Then another unexpected voice entered the conversation, actress Jenna Elfman. For anyone who remembers late 90s television, Elfman became famous playing Dharma in the hit sitcom Dharma and Greg, a role that made her a household name. She has remained active in the entertainment industry for decades and continues to have a strong presence in pop culture. After watching Lou's historic Olympic performance, Elfman shared a surprising observation on her Instagram story. She said she noticed a strong resemblance between herself and Alisa Lou. Not just a passing similarity, but enough that she jokingly pitched a creative idea. Elfman suggested that if a movie or television project about Liu ever happens, she should play Lou's mother, or Liu could play a younger version of her in a flashback. The suggestion was playful, but it also showed genuine admiration. She wrapped up her message by saying she loves Liu, clearly impressed by what the young skater accomplished. Moments like that might seem small, but in the entertainment world, they carry real influence. When someone who has spent decades in Hollywood publicly points to a rising star and says they belong in that world too, people start paying attention. It introduces that athlete to audiences who might not have followed the Olympics at all. And that brings us back to what makes Alisa Lou's story so fascinating right now. She's standing at a rare intersection. She's young, wildly talented, and has just achieved something historic in her sport. Doors are opening everywhere around her, from sports media to Hollywood opportunities. Yet, instead of rushing through those doors, she's pausing and questioning whether she even wants to step inside. Ironically, that restraint might be exactly what makes the world even more interested in her. Because in an era where everyone seems desperate for fame, Alisa Lou might be one of the few people who isn't sure she wants it at all. There's something incredibly magnetic about a person who doesn't seem to need your attention, even when the entire world is suddenly giving it to them. In sports and entertainment, the athletes who chase celebrity the hardest are often the ones who fade the fastest. They appear everywhere at once, flooding social media, jumping on every show, accepting every invitation, and eventually, the audience burns out before the athlete has actually built something lasting. But the people who move differently, the ones who pace themselves, who keep a little mystery around them and let the world come to them instead of chasing every opportunity, those are usually the ones who end up with real staying power. And Alisa Lou, whether she's doing it intentionally or not, seems to be taking that second path. Watching the cultural moment around her unfold right now is fascinating because it's happening in real time. You have an athlete who just delivered one of the most historic performances in American figure skating history. At the same time, you have a veteran Hollywood actress like Jenna Elfman publicly pointing at her and saying she belongs on screen. The celebrity world is opening its doors, welcoming her into spaces that most people spend years trying to enter. And yet, the young woman standing at the center of all this attention keeps reacting to every new opportunity with something close to a shrug. Not an ungrateful shrug, not an arrogant one, just the quiet confidence of someone who knows exactly who she is and isn't about to let a gold medal and 7 million new followers redefine her overnight. When she said she isn't even sure she wants to be a celebrity, that comment immediately stood out. And the reality is, that statement is probably going to follow her for a while. But here's the interesting part. The fact that she said it so openly, without worrying about how it might be interpreted, is exactly the kind of authenticity that makes people even more curious about what she will do next. It creates a strange paradox around her right now. The less she appears to want the spotlight, the brighter that spotlight becomes. So where does Alisa Lou go from here? Honestly, no one really knows yet. She could step fully into the entertainment world that Jenna Elfman is already imagining, appearing in projects, building a presence in Hollywood, and turning her Olympic fame into something much bigger in pop culture. She could stay completely focused on skating, defend her titles, and continue building one of the most impressive competitive legacies the sport has seen in years. Or she could surprise everyone and choose a path that none of the current conversation is even predicting. What makes the situation so compelling is that she's only 20 years old, already carrying a historic Olympic resume. and she seems to have a remarkably clear understanding of her own values and priorities. That combination doesn't appear very often in sports. What we do know is that the 2026 Winter Olympics delivered one of the most memorable performances in modern American sports history. Alisa Lou's double gold medal moment instantly placed her among the most important figures in the sport's recent era. What happens next, however, is entirely up to her. And judging by everything she has said and done since those gold medals were placed around her neck, she's going to decide her future completely on her own terms.